Today we're going to do a review of circumference and its application. Now this shouldn't be a surprise to you in terms of what circumference is, but it is the distance around the circle. So if you want to think about it as the perimeter of the circle, we have two formulas. We have circumference equals 2 pi r, so 2 times pi times the radius. But we also know that two radii are equivalent to one diameter. Right, so we could do pi d. Honestly, I flip-flop back and forth between the two depending on what information I'm given and what outcome I'm looking for. So I will try to use both. Honestly, you could always use one or the other. All right, so again, a lot of this is going to be a review, but there's a little bit probably of a new part that we're going to see here in a second. So first of all, we want to find the circumference of a circle with a radius of 3 meters in terms of pi. That's probably the new part. So in terms of pi means I'm leaving pi in my answer. Okay, so I don't want to multiply through by pi. I just leave it, like I literally just don't multiply through. Kind of like when you were doing radicals back in algebra, you know how like the square root of 8 is really 2 radical 2, and this is an exact answer, okay, and you leave your answer in radical form. The same thing is true with pi. If we leave pi in our answer, then it's an exact answer. So if I want to find the circumference of a circle with a radius of 3, so we know circumference equals 2 pi r. So that would be 2 times pi times 3. So my circumference would be 6 pi meters. And that is my answer. You just leave it as 6 pi. The next one says, if a circle has a circumference of 24 pi meters, find the length of the radius. Okay, so again, I'm looking at radius. So we have circumference equals 2 pi r. This time I'm going to be working backwards. I know my circumference is 24 pi. So I'm going to plug that in for circumference. Okay, now, this is another good reason to leave pi in my answer, because I can divide both sides by pi, and I can easily divide that out, and that's just really a unit of 1. So what I'm left with is 24 is equal to 2 radii. So divide both sides by 2, and we get our radius is equal to 12. If I would have multiplied all that together, right, if they would have told me that my circumference, instead of saying 24 pi, if they said the circumference was 75.36. So if I said my circumference is 75.36, I wouldn't have recognized that pi was even in there. Okay, so that's a nice thing about leaving pi in our answers, that sometimes, especially as you move forward into pre-calculus and calculus and so on, it's nice that you can just cancel pi out. All right, so let's take a look at this story problem. It says if the diameter of Earth is 8,000 miles, find the average speed in miles per hour Phileas Fogg needs to circumnavigate the Earth about the equator in 80 days. Okay, so we need to, first of all, find the circumference of the Earth, right? So they're giving us the diameter. So circumference is equal to pi d. So my circumference is going to be pi times my diameter, which is 8,000. So my circumference is 8,000 pi miles. Okay, now we want to know the average speed in miles per hour that he would need to travel. All right, so we have our miles. We need to divide by the number of hours. Okay, so miles per hour, per means to divide. Okay, so we need to figure out how many hours are there in 80 days. So we need to find the number of hours in 80 days. All right, so we have 80 days, and there's 24 hours in each day. That gives us 1,920 hours. So again, I want miles per hour, so I need to take 8,000 pi, divide that by 1,920. So I'm just going to type that right into my calculator. Okay, so 8,000 times pi gives me 25,132.741. I need to divide that by 1920. And I get approximately 13.1 miles per hour. Okay, so now I just talked about how you're leaving things in terms of pi. Well, this is a case where you don't leave things in terms of pi because we need an answer that we can use right away. So for instance, if you ask me what the speed limit is on this road, I'm not going to say that it's I'm not going to put your answer in terms of pi. I'm not going to say it's like 7 pi miles per hour because that doesn't make sense, right? When it's a real life application, a lot of times you're going to put it in decimal. Otherwise, it's honestly just safer to just leave it in terms of pi. All right, so for your homework, there are some problems with circumference. On the top, I think 6 or 8 are very straightforward. Find the radius, find the diameter, find the circumference, all in terms of pi. Then the remaining are story problems. Do your best. We will go over them tomorrow. And then also you can help each other. If you have questions, help each other out.